All right. If you're anything like me and millions of Americans, you have been frantically Googling raspberries, lettuce. What the hell can I eat right now? Because of this cyclospora weird diarrhea, explosive diarrhea outbreak. And the thing about it is, it's incredibly infuriating that there's no clear information coming out of the federal government. And because we forget what's normal and what's not normal, you should be getting clear information from the federal government about this. And so we have RFK Jr. and the like to thank for that. But it's not just that. There are real questions as to how we got here and why we got here. And he is in part to blame for that as well. Let me tell you what I mean. Because normally, our government has a system in place to track pathogens like cyclospora. Normally that would be what happens. But RFK Jr. and, of course, the one and only Elon Musk made a bunch of budget and staffing cuts as a part of Operation Doge. Remember that? It's like, is there more they can do to us at this point? Clearly, there's more because we just keep uncovering things that their cuts have done to us. So, health experts normally would have been tracking a bunch these pathogens that they go on. And in the last year, though, the Foodborne Diseases Active Surveillance Network, otherwise known as FoodNet, which tracks the pathogens, which is typically responsible for tracking pathogens like cyclospora, salmonella, listeria, all of those that can get into our food and make people very sick. They're now only monitoring two. And cyclospora is not one of the ones they're monitoring, okay? Which is, again, the current explosion of diarrhea from food and lettuce and raspberries and other things that people are experiencing all across the country. That is all over every feed I have everywhere, probably because I keep searching for what I can eat and what my children can eat every single day. And before this was stopped, before FoodNet was cut, I should say, and before they stopped monitoring, it was gathering data. This is how it worked on things like positive tests on food and people and food sources, and it helped coordinate information across states. So it's not that it could necessarily stop everything, but it could often track it earlier. It could track more closely where it's coming from, what food sources, what parts of the country it's coming from. But because they're not tracking this pathogen, this wasn't happening. Okay, all because of these big cuts. And well, again, this couldn't have totally prevented it. It created massive blind spots. So that's where we are right now. And Senator Chris Coons kind of summed up RFK Jr.'s impact here pretty well. And I'm just going to read you his tweet. And this is what he said. RFK Jr. made cyclospora tracking optional, gutting a CDC program used to detect outbreaks. Now cyclospora ISIS has hit 31 states. That's what happens when you dismantle the systems designed to keep us safe. Okay? This is again a reminder of all of the often unseen damage that they have done to the systems of government that actually make our lives work, make people's lives work, keep people safe across the country, including your food, including making sure if you want to have a salad, you're not going to worry about getting explosive diarrhea in a week or two. This is the kind of thing they're cutting. Is there more than they can do to us? Yes, but it feels like a new thing every freaking day. Okay, again, this was Elon Musk also who was involved in this. And speaking of that guy who just continues to haunt all of our nightmares, that guy is back. And he's back in a way you wouldn't believe. And maybe you've seen this. I don't know if you've seen it or not. But basically, Christopher Nolan's epic star-studded movie, The Odyssey, which is, of course, coming out this weekend. Lots of anticipation. They're all over the place with their marketing press tour. Everybody wants to see this movie. I want to see this movie. So that comes out this weekend. And Lupita Nyong'o, who is objectively drop-dead gorgeous by any account, okay? She is playing Helen of Troy, who's, of course, the mythical woman who was so beautiful that her face launched 1,000 ships and ignited the Trojan War. That's Lupita Nyong'o, okay? Great casting for this particular role. And man, oh man, though, Elon Musk, the man I hope you blame if you get this horrible exploding diarrhea. I hope you blame him. But that man cannot stand it. He cannot stand that a Black woman, Lupita Nyong'o, again, objectively drop dead gorgeous, is cast as Helen of Troy. And he has been all over Twitter about this, X, whatever we're calling it. And back in January, he actually reshared a tweet that called the casting of Nyong'o disgusting. And he also accused director Christopher Nolan of losing his integrity, just adding a little bit of his own analysis there, all about this casting. Christopher Nolan, highly regarded Oscar-winning director Christopher Nolan. Right. Okay. But Elon Musk would not stop. He became kind of obsessive. There, you can see them on your screen, about tweeting about Christopher Nolan and this casting decision, again, of an objectively drop-dead gorgeous woman to play a drop-dead gorgeous mythical person, okay? So the thing about this is that, again, Helen of Troy is not a real person. She's a mythical person. So Musk is not only racist and definitely pathetic, but it's all a bit hilarious because he's so obsessed with a mythical character and who's being cast as a mythical character. And now Elon Musk is beefing with Tom Holland. Yes, Tom Holland, he thinks he's beefing with Tom Holland, the actor who's, of course, in the movie. And Holland, Tom Holland, I'll get there, basically responded to Musk saying, "Very happy to say it again, The Odyssey is an amazing film, and missing out on seeing it because you think it's woke or whatever is cutting off your nose to spite your face, you're a loss." Okay, Tom Holland. But here's the other funny part about this, because this story just keeps getting weirder. This is not Tom Holland, the actor. This is Tom Holland, a historian who Musk is beefing with over the Odyssey movie. A nerdy historian, in the best way, we love nerds around here, who happens to love Christopher Nolan's adaptation of the Odyssey. Do we think Elon Musk knows he's beefing with Tom Holland, the historian, and not Tom Holland, the actor? We don't really know. But as for now, I'm happy to not tell him or make sure he doesn't know. Okay, there's actually some good news this week, as much as that was an entertaining, crazy iteration of Elon Musk's whole journey on the Odyssey story. And that is about E. Jean Carroll, because E. Jean Carroll has been, I mean, it was 3 years ago that a jury found Trump for liable for sexual abuse in a Manhattan department store in 1996, and also for defaming E. Jean Carroll on social media. And E. Jean Carroll has been fighting to get this payment pretty much ever since there. And finally, and this week, finally, writer E. Jean Carroll finally received the $5 million in damages that a jury had ordered Donald Trump to pay her in one of her two cases against him. And after years of Trump fighting this payout, and unsuccessfully appealing the judgment, even petitioning the Supreme Court several times, she's finally being paid. So this is good news. This is satisfaction. E. Jean Carroll, who took him to task, who did it fearlessly, is finally getting paid. And it also made me think, and this has been circulating a little bit, but it made me think about this interview clip from a few months back where she really defines, I think this rings very true for the right way to, I guess, stand up to Trump in this particular moment. And it's from a couple of months ago, but it's very, I felt it in my bones right now.
See, I don't understand how people can be afraid of a fat, elderly man who wears apricot makeup, his hair done up like Tippi Hedren in The Birds, and sits in a courtroom and moans and groans and complains and snorts when the jury got a load of him. They were mesmerized. You have never seen anything like it. He never sat still, and he talked the entire time within earshot of the jury. He belittled Alina Habba Esquire, his own attorney. He would spit as he was talking. He didn't smell so good.
I mean, Alina Habba Esquire, and he didn't smell so good. There's so many things. You just replay that thing, put it in your veins, all of the thing. E. Jean Carroll, God love her, but she finally got her $5 million this week. Okay, here's another thing that struck me this week that you may or may not have seen. When you think of Melania Trump, or I should say it this way, when you think of first ladies throughout history, you may think of people like, I don't know, Eleanor Roosevelt, Michelle Obama. Maybe you go to the Wayback Machine, to Abigail Adams. I mean, whoever you think of as people who are consequential, impactful first ladies throughout history. I seriously doubt, even if you're a person who loves Donald Trump, that you think that Melania Trump is going to go down in history as a consequential first lady. And that's why I have to show you this clip.
Look, Bianca, I believe that our First Lady, the current First Lady, Melania Trump, is the single most consequential First Lady in history of our nation. You talk about her commitment to children. It's not just with American kids. It's kids all over the place. So, for example, it's fair to argue that she has had more impact, substantive impact, as it relates to the peace process between Ukraine and Russia by single-handedly executing on 4 reunifications between Ukrainian and Russian children and their families. What more substantive has occurred? If you look at everything that NATO has done, all of the world leaders, they continue to attack. We see drone attacks every single day, more weapons going forward. But our First Lady has reunified these individuals 4 times now, and she's working on a 5th. It's pretty important.
I mean, there is so much to say here. First of all, let's just get this out of the way. I mean, Melania Trump is married to the man who has essentially sided with Putin, who has belittled the president of Ukraine, Vladimir Zelensky, in the Oval Office, who has advocated for cutting off aid to Ukraine. I don't even have any earthly clue what he's talking. I mean, I don't even know where his brain is going there, but I just have to start there because it is such an absurd proclamation. I mean, but also, who in the hell is Mark Beckman? That guy. Who is that person? Mark Beckman, he's apparently an exclusive senior advisor to the First Lady, whatever the heck that means. But we do know this too. He was a producer. He played a key producer role in the Melania documentary. You remember the one, we talked about this, that cost a whopping $75 million somehow to produce and promote. He's also the husband of a fashion designer who has worked with Melania for years. He's a self-styled expert on crypto, NFTs, and AI. I mean, okay, and maybe he knows more about those things. I don't think he knows about history, global affairs, the war in Ukraine, consequential first ladies, what you're supposed to do in government, all of those things. Would not call that guy an expert. That is putting it very diplomatically. Also, I watched that and thought, I don't know you, Mark, but are you okay? I mean, are you doing this under duress? Is somebody paying you? Is somebody bribing you? Why are those words coming out of your mouth on television? That's what the things I wondered. Second, the other thing I'm struck by when you hear people talk about Melania Trump who are advocating on her behalf is it's like she seems to be living in a world where she's a part of a different administration, married to a different man, playing a much different role in history, which she's either has no power in, which makes the most sense, or she's complicit in, which maybe there's some of that too. Hard to know. But she's telling herself a very different story from reality and having people out there telling that version of her reality, which is not based on planet Earth. Maybe that's how she gets up in the morning. I do not know. Okay. Now this week, I unfortunately have some sad news to share, although this is a very sweet thing. Actor Sam Neill, who you may know from his leading role in the Jurassic Park movies, passed away. And I wanted to leave you with this video because after all the things we talked about, and we talk about all the time, I mean, sometimes we just need to cuddle a duck, which is what he did.
I don't know if he's ever cuddled a duck. This is Charlie. Loves cuddling. It's very soothing for Charlie. And probably more soothing for me. Say hello, Charlie. Don't be shy. You gorgeous duck. Yes.
There you go.